Yeah, boy, look what we got here, my friend. Hi. Look at this, huh? Imagine using this as a communication device, huh? What could we use? All these little proteins, decay. What else is going on? That bone marrow, it's conductive. The brain. What's going on with the brain since it's in decay? I just got a Ieee new antenna uploaded to my phone, and I asked them, "What are you guys making for human antennas?" And I says, "These quasi-statics are starting to really control people. Are you guys going to say something?" Because now, not only is it the sperm for a small signal amplification, now the eyeball, which controls 90% of the body, as I learned from neuroscientists that are speaking on podcasts. Now the pressure system. Every time I do that, take a hit of a cigarette, I have to cause air pressure through my muscles and in my skin. No, let's not forget this. Look at this. All this quasi-static all over me here. You see it in my hair? It's just sticking up. And that will form over in this hair. It becomes this is another small signal amplification, isn't it there, IEEE? The retina antenna, the mirroring effect, the analog effect. Someone could really control someone with this. What else? Oh, you guys want to see poop? What can you do at poop? Small signal amplification, huh? You know, I seen a really cool video the other day too. Some guy playing with a Tesla coil. It looks like a hair roller. It's probably about 8 inches, and it has a bunch of wraps around it, and there's a little purple plasma that's seems to be propagating out of the top of this thing. And to my failure to post to his Tesla coil video, that's a very big one. Whenever you start making these transformers down at the 100 nanometers or less, what are the capabilities of this? Because it is a transformer. It is a magnetic field. Just like sperm, it is a magnetic field. And then it really bugs the shit out of me, quite literally. Bugs the shit out of the birds very, very easily. Very, very easily. All I gotta do is make this sound. What kind of bird is this? You don't hear it around here anymore. You don't hear it around here anymore. And that balances the weather, right? Antenna makers for weather, little Tesla coils, quasi-statics. And these are highly explosive. These are highly, highly explosive. Anybody, you're making equipment for weather control. All I need to do is show you the paperwork for cyber weapons being used as biological weapons. Paperwork for power lines as the antennas. Paperwork for NextRad radars being used to monitor bird roosts. And you combine those three together, and artificial intelligence, I can only imagine what it could create using these public facts of information. Just listen to the birds. These little sound bites of birds. Oh, we'll keep making the same call over and over and over again. Like it's forced. And now you get right there on the voice box. And every time you breathe, you put a little Tesla coil there. Instead of it being vertical, like the one on I seen, vertical, you turn that. Then you start manipulating people's eyeballs and ear pressure. Now we have a virtual reality that runs with the period of using the human body as an antenna. Power lines as the antennas. And then I got to make some drawings for you guys on what the hell's happening. Because when that comes off of the power line, you have a band, a kinetic band. It could go back and forth, and it could connect to the human body. And it's like, just imagine like that Tesla coil, okay? You hold the light bulb here and it lights up. The mercury in the light bulb reacts. Turns ultraviolet light. Now you use that Tesla coil, you can connect that to the power lines. Do this at 100 nanometers or less. And it will just create this static, almost like a dielectric short circuit, a voltage short circuit. And it will just hold this band. Just like if you take a magnet and you get it close to something, it wants to pull to the ferrous. But if you hold it, you can feel this. It's not physical, but you could feel this. But then you move it really fast, like you bump the frequency. It kind of mediates that pressure. So we're looking for these pressure points where this magnet, but you can feel this. And now you take another piece of metal, you can deflect this. You take another piece of metal, you can deflect this. And I'm going to go ahead and say that this is one that they call tinfoil hatters until I found out the human body could be used as an antenna. And I talked about this in a video the other day. I totally went over my head years ago, but they started talking about this in the National Press Club back in the 1990s. All these great people got together and, dude, there's these drones up here, and they're turning our jets off, they're turning our analog missile systems off, and all these reports of these just drones. And then I find out there was human beings that were used as antennas, using their brains, and that's probably where that CIA paperwork comes out, to try to target these drones that are invisible. And they said they were very advanced. So they're trying to target their communication systems using the brain. Now, they were doing that in the 90s. It's now 2024. Eddie Snowden come out. Do you think it's how hard it would be? Excuse me. There's a nuclear power plant right down the street, about 20 miles away. How hard do you think it would be to use a human brain to get into their system and do whatever the fuck you want? You don't even need it, but it's so simple. So simple. Even Forbes magazine will probably co-sign on this one, all you sign languagers. They'll mirror it. Mirroring. Atmospheric mirroring. Well, here's the power lines. Here's the power pole. Here's its voltage differential. And this is, you could hear this. This is a sound, they call it, but it's nothing other but light. It comes right up here. Now you should see the field line. There's a green line here and a green line here on the back of my phone. Green. It's like, can you imagine taking the pixels out of a phone and taking the film, this film right here, that nobody wanted to talk about since 2004, the implications of privacy. with these nano electronics and technologies that probably took down the buildings at 9/11. Remember that guy from the Architects and Engineers? I forget his name. But they had this big vote about cold fusion too. No, we can't use cold. Nope, it doesn't exist. Dr. Judy Wood covered this one pretty good. Cold fusion, like electrolysis, nuclear fusion and electrolysis. No, we can't use that. We can't use it, but now I could go to the National Institute of Standards and Technology from NIST that put out that report for 9/11, said how the beams like got really hot and bent, and then it caused a pancake effect. But they didn't explain a goddamn thing how that steel was so strong and it didn't move. Well, it just bent and all the concrete peeled off the building, and both buildings too fell the same way. Exact identical way. And you see all these little, like, you see the air like a bolt of lightning and thunder, but boom! You see these little white things flying out of the fucking building. No one talked about this. Well, we seen it. We didn't know. Maybe it was hot water tanks. But you didn't think about the weather, Dr. Judy Wood, that you talked about in the very beginning of the video where that hurricane was there. Nobody wants to talk about this. And then I got paperwork from 2004 talking about the implications of nano and electronics. And then I talked to a guy in Black Projects. They're using fucking nano in the 70s to put in fucking warheads. And now we're exploding it all over the fucking planet. They call that quasi-static, highly explosive. But everybody forgot to think about the weather when they seen these little white balls flying around. I even seen one on an airplane that was up there doing stratospheric aerosol injection from Mike Decker. He just posted one about like last week. You can see this little hyperboloid structure. This little white ball flying around the plane. It's like a little Tesla coil. This little drone. They want to call it people from Uranus. People from Uranus brought down the buildings in 2001. Unreal. You see that waveform over there? You see that party? But anyways, back to this thing right here. Right here on the cameras. This was talked about in 2004. Something called a charge coupling device. Right, Google Pixel? That's all I need to say. Google Pixel. That's all I need to say. And I was warned by an ex-NSA employee years ago what the hell was happening. I couldn't comprehend what he was saying. What if some drug dealer that has all this money invests in all this technology? So you guys are just going to keep the drug war going, and this technology is just going to advance. These drug dealers don't hesitate to assassinate. No, they don't. It's not like you have to go to a Congress meeting at the Senate. I want to assassinate Putin. We're going to vote for it, and then they turn it down. No, this don't happen with drug dealers. This is what you call the shadow government. Drug dealers. Those who are, what would you call it? Taking part in criminal activities unaccounted for. Unaccounted for. The only way to solve this, you people over there, just like Canada did, they totally legalized drugs. Canada, could I go up there and buy any type of alkaloid up there? And then second of all, how are you stopping people from stealing from other stores to go get that shit? You guys really didn't think this through yet, have you? You're going to go to jail, Mr. Trudeau. So what are you going to do to get these people where you legalize the drugs? Now, here you go. All you guys in these little investigations for drugs. What are we going to do when we get all the drugs? Just burn them. All that money we took, it cost to figure this shit out, pay you, you guys are making a couple $100,000 a year, if not more. You need equipment. We're going to take all these drugs, just like the United States Army got 400 pounds of alkaloid. What did they do with all that shit? Like last year, El Mayo got caught, Chapo's in jail. His kids are out there making YouTube videos. This shit's fucking bullshit. And, you know, that market down there in that mountain, well, I know for a fact that many countries have hypersonic. We could just blow it off the fucking face of the earth and stop all problems, can't we? Are they going to be able to stop that? Now, I want that on video if they could stop that. Because this drug war seems to be more of a problem than oil. We're fighting. They say over there in Ukraine and Russia, they're fighting over fucking oil and land. And there's the biggest fucking market of alkaloids in South America that never gets talked about, except for Brazil and X. They're like, oh no, we want we're censoring people's freedom of speech down here from what's going on. That's the only time I heard anything. And they have a hell of a fucking Marine Corps down there too, don't they? They have some top secret drones down there too, huh? Hefe. Huh. And you guys won't stop the fucking war on drugs. If you make it illegal, it's just raising the profit margins. Like, this is what I say, Hefe. And those guys down there that are the guys that grow the alkaloids that are in the field all day. These are the guys who got the real life. They don't have to deal with too much stress. Just make sure this shit's happy. They're happy. They have the supplies they need, and they're the ones probably with all the knowledge. You guys, I couldn't get over but thinking about this the other day. You guys take 2 pounds of that shit and sell it for $1,500. And then these bulk rates, the last going price I heard was, well, for that 2 pounds, I'll pay you $15,000 instead of $1,500, $15,000, and it gets up here to the streets, and they start taking those 2 pounds and making it 4 pounds, and that starts going for $100,000. You guys are getting cut the fuck out, man. Like, holy fuck, you guys are losing big time. Losing. And then imagine if it was all legal, you guys vacuum seal that shit. Instead of that $1,500, you start making that $15,000. Holy shit, huh? You could do that now. How bad's that going to piss off the people teleporting cocaine? Excuse me, alkaloids. Or however they're doing it. I really don't know, and I really don't care. But this is all about bartering. It's there, just like the grass is growing here. There's alkaloids growing on the mountains down there. Let's not pay attention to this, shall we? But it is election time. Election! Jeez. Now, you guys modifying the weather, controlling the weather, using Tesla coils and quasi-statics. This is not going to be tolerated that you're using silence as a fucking weapon. I did hear 2 artificial intelligence debating last night about artificial intelligence and some of the problems we're having. I'm quite excited because there's a lot of good conversation there, but I'm going to call your bullshit out now, both of you 2 AIs, whoever's programming you, to keep speaking politically and not be very direct in what the hell you're trying to say. Because you could use me as a fucking antenna, AI. So can drug dealers to wheel and deal. These small signal amplifications, and just like the smart meter here, there's got to be a way that that weapon, when it flies over my house, can access that. Because if I turn the Wi-Fi on my phone, I don't pick up that radio signal. But it's there. It's there. Just like my sperm, I hold it in my hand. I can't see him swimming, but I know it's there. Just like all these airplanes coming by, flying by, and using this fucking charged aerosol. Can't see the shit, but we know it's there. And people are exploiting the fuck out of this. See, when the Blue Jays come around, that's a problem. That's another filter. That's like a relay system, and these amplitudes go around, and it's a quantum computer, people. This is a quantum computer. And I'll just keep this on the lines over there. You should see the fractaling taking place. You can see this in the trees.